Good evening, everyone. Goddess of Chaos here. How you doing? So I just got off work. I'm about to go into the gym right over there. And I thought I like doing that on my way home from work. To which my chaotic train of mind goes, you know what? It's been a while since I've done a video about toxic workplaces. And I am so glad that I don't really work for one right now. I'm sure there's a lot more content that I could go over that I haven't seen yet. So let's see what we find.
Yep, the company fired me because I was questioning why would I need to pay you back for the days that even though I was working while I was in Korea because my dad had passed. And, you know, they were saying either you pay us back for the days that we paid you while you were in Korea for the funeral, or you just don't get paid for how many days that we calculate. Which was insane because I was actually working. And in return to that, you know, comment, I went to HR and I provided all the screenshots and the login info and all of that, showing that I was actually working while I was in Korea for my dad's fucking funeral. Anyways, when I did that, the CEO, I'm sure she got an alert from HR that I had provided all this proof. And for that, she fired me. She literally said, "You know why I'm saying this, right?" And honestly, I was just so done after that. And I just, all of my coworkers were really angry. But the ex, my ex, that I basically like helped him, like placed him into getting a creative director role at that company, literally told me that when I told him that I want to like file a lawsuit, he told me not to because the industry is too tight knit, and it could harm me in the long run if I want to continue working in the industry. Which is very true. It is a very, very small and like tight knit community of industry where like the type of work that I did. But to this day, I still regret that I didn't file a lawsuit because it was just so painful to get over how I got fired like that after experiencing such a huge trauma and all the years that I put into working for that brand. And out of that, I was so traumatized. I literally packed my shit up and moved back to Korea. Like, that's how traumatized I was.
All right, that last one. I I also have a bit of an experience with having to have a day off to attend a funeral. And I never thought that this would happen to me. This was a few years ago, and that's when I was working at the pool store. And my grandmother had unfortunately passed away. And even though it was something that we were all expecting, we weren't surprised that it was going to happen. She wasn't doing well. She had dementia, and it just it, it just wasn't good at all. And I'd even told my work, like, hey, I let them know, hey, this isn't, she's not doing well. Don't be surprised within the next week or two or whatever, if I have to take a day or two off to attend a funeral or something. I always let them know that, hey, this may happen, so that they could pre-plan ahead, get an idea of what they're going to do, because, working retail, especially at a pool store in the summertime when it's hectic, I mean, that's when Pennsylvania's, our hottest season is, obviously. So it did happen one day. She passed away. And I not only felt like crap because I was very close with this grandma, and I couldn't take the day. I couldn't take the day off. I was already at work. I was already like halfway done with my shift whenever I got the call from my mom. But the day of the funeral, they didn't expect me to come into work per se, but I had to travel about an hour and a half up north of Pittsburgh to attend the funeral. At one point, my boss at the time texted me and said, when is the funeral? When is the wake? And I thought, oh, that's nice. They're thinking about me, and everything. And then I told them, I'm like, oh, we're almost there. It starts in an hour or whatever. And then I knew where it was going when they asked until when. I'm like, why? Why do you need to know a time? Even if it was a short funeral, and even if I'd be home in a couple hours, I'm not coming in. I'm not doing it. This is a time for me to spend with family, you know. I was very, because I almost considered this person a friend, which is sometimes a mistake to consider your coworkers and stuff your friends too. I do have a couple of coworkers. Love you, Jen. I do have a couple of coworkers that I worked with there that I do consider friends. But this one, I thought she was. But then when she said, "Till what time?" and I'm like, why? There was no reason. Even my mother-in-law's like, you're not going into work. My mother-in-law, bless her soul, she came up with us. She's like, you're not going to work. I'm like, I'm not. I said, I ignored the text message and I blocked them for the day. And then the next day I said, no, I was at a funeral. I wasn't going to come in. I guess my manager got yelled at because she didn't have coverage. And it's like, well, that's not my fault. You didn't have coverage. I told you what was happening. I told her the day before my grandmother had passed. I told her, and we knew it was going to be busy because it was summertime. And that's all there is to it. Just you're going to be busy. You don't expect an employee to come in to sell pool stuff if you're at a funeral. Just be busy. Deal with it. If I was just sitting at home by myself, twiddling my thumbs, I could understand. But no. Just be busy. Pull up your big girl pants and just deal with it. I don't care. But yeah, that was the place that I worked at before I work where I do now. But yeah, there's actually a lot of TikToks that are regarding employers giving employees a hard time for taking time off for a funeral. And there's also a lot of, I guess, funeral parlors can be a toxic place to work for too. So maybe I'll take a look into that. I don't know, I just didn't think of that. All right, let's see what else I can dig up.
I really hate that workplace culture requires you to be fake. Like, baby, I don't give a fuck about what you did yesterday, what you ate, what you gonna eat for lunch. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your husband. I don't care if your husband died. I really don't give a fuck. I just want to come here, do my job, mind my business, and go the fuck home. But if I do that, all of a sudden I'm a bitch because I don't want to talk, or I don't want to say hi, or I don't want to say good morning. Baby, I'm not here for that. I'm here to do the job I'm being paid for and go home. I don't care about none of that extra shit. I don't care about none of that. I really hate it because I have a hard time being fake. Like, if I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk right now. And it's going to come off as, oh, I'm being mean or I'm being bitchy. But in reality, there's nothing wrong. I literally just don't want to talk. I want to do my job and go home. And this shit can't even close. I'm in my car having lunch because I simply don't want to talk to anybody. Welcome to America.
Okay. I have a couple of thoughts on that. As you can see at the beginning of her video, she said she didn't like people having to be fake. I agree with that. But then when she started talking about, like, I get it. You don't want to always be buddy-buddy with your coworkers, okay? That's fine. But there is a difference between being fake and just being friendly. It does not cost you anything to just be friendly. To go as far as to say, I don't care about you. I don't care about your kids. I don't care if your husband died. Like, okay, that's a little heartless. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to just be friendly, say good morning. It does come off as rude and that you're being a little bee. And if I don't know, something tells me that it's, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, leave a comment and let me know what you think about this one. But it sounds like she might be the toxic one, making her workplace toxic. You can be friendly without being fake. If you can't be friendly without being fake, then that's an error in her personality. I mean, I go in, I just say quick good morning. You don't have to be overly friendly. Good morning. Yeah, it doesn't take much. You don't have to say, oh, hi, how are you? Good morning. Whenever I walk in, I say to my coworkers, good morning. And that's it. And then I sit down. And I do my job. I'll maybe talk a little bit to my coworker. She'll ask me how my daughter's doing, things like that. But yeah, I'm sorry, that video just, it irked me because you can be friendly without being fake. But, all right. This video is going to be long enough and I got to get into the gym. I'm going to do one more and we'll see what I can find. Oh, I've got a pretty good one for you for the last video. It's a little bit of advice when someone says something disrespectful to you. One thing I would like to add is do it with a smile.
My dad taught me how to have conflict at work, so I'm going to teach you too. Next time someone says something that is rude or disrespectful or you feel is inappropriate maybe, do this. Rather than saying, Dave, I don't like when you speak to me like that. You have made me feel this. You have made me feel that, which is emotional. It is combative, it is confrontational, and it can be inflammatory. And also it paints you in a light where you have to speak. Do this. Dave, what would make you think you can speak to me like that? Or, Dave, how do you think it makes me feel when you speak to me like that? Dave, when did I give you the impression you could speak to me like that? What would compel you to speak to me like that, Dave? Dave, how did you think it was appropriate to speak to me like that? Answer conflicts with questions, never emotions. Ask questions. Who, what, why, when, how. Not yes or no questions, open questions. You're not feeling vulnerable, you're not being the victim, and you're putting the onus back on the individual so they feel like absolute...
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the terrible lighting in my car, but I know if I do this at home, my daughter's going to want my attention like most kids will. And I skipped out all my videos last week and I didn't want to do that again. So I just wanted to film a quick video. And but yeah, take that advice and just remember, smile. Do you think it was appropriate to say that to me? Say it nicely. That way they can't go to HR and say that you were being disrespectful to them. But please drop a comment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and that way whenever this beautiful face posts a video, you'll be able to see me, hopefully in better lighting. I would love to know of your toxic work stories. Let me know. I need something to read to pass the time. But other than that, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the recumbent bike, maybe some treadmill. Anyways, go out into the world and cause a little bit of chaos. May even be fun to cause it at the workplace. Bye.